up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all-new review of Put a Ring on It. Let's get into it. So we are picking up right back where we left off, which was the fight between Shay and Ty. A mess, a mess, and Shay just going back and forth, yelling, cursing. You better tell her shut the fuck up. Nobody talking to you. I'll slap the shit out of this hoe. This bitch ass hoe gonna do in here all this and that and the third. I'm like, Shay, please pipe down. And when she picked up that plate, I'm like, you're about to get it. You're about to get it. So producer stepped in. Tay is losing her shit, and she has every right to, because she's like, first of all, y'all got me out here on this shit. Y'all got me, really? This is what you have me sign up for? Oh, hell no. And Fonzo talks about how Shay is a jealous woman. She doesn't like any woman talking to him. We can see that. And Shay ends up leaving. And I think that's all she wanted. All she wanted was to cause a scene so Fonzo can leave with her. Because then she leaves the restaurant upset, mad, saying that she was talking to Fonzo, not talking to her. And she wanted Fonzo to actually take some action and calm his day down and have a side conversation with her. But he didn't do anything. He just sat there, which is why she feels like he disregards your feelings. Shay, he disregards your feelings all the time. This isn't a shock to you, but I feel like you created this. I don't know why, because the task was for you to stay engaged with the person you arrived on the date with. That's what you were supposed to do. You weren't supposed to follow up what he was doing. You weren't supposed to check in. You weren't supposed to check somebody when nobody needed to be checked. All you need to do was worry about yourself. That's what you're supposed to do. Worry about yourself. And after that, we see Ty and Asar. They introduced one another. They both lived in Atlanta for the last over 10 years, and they end up eating the food there because hey, we're still here. The food in here isn't touched. Might as well go ahead and eat. I felt like y'all might as well. The date was a bust. Okay, she didn't know if there was a problem. I didn't know it was. Now I know. I'm not with that. Good night. So Kenneth and Shorty, they're about to go on her date. Her date comes over. His name is Tavi. He's 35. He has a cool vibe. He comes in. Kenneth's looking at him, taking the flowers, and he's sizing him up. He even pats him down to see if he had any concealed weapons or daggers or something. And he said it gave him a flashback of him working as a security for a strip club. And that's what he would have to do. I said, oh, an occupation that I believe you had. So he introduces to Shorty and he gives her flowers. And they were talking about putting them in the vase this time. I don't know if one point Shorty received flowers from who? From Hollywood? I don't know. But he threw flowers away. Just like Otis threw flowers away that Shar got. Okay. So then they talk about where he was from. He was from Orlando, Florida. Kenneth is familiar living in Orlando. He used to live in Kissimmee, and that was Tavi's old stomping ground. He used to play football out there. He said, what position you used to play? I was a receiver. Kenneth made a joke about how he's too short to be a receiver. He said, all right, you got to come see me out there. You can't catch me, all right? And they both had a good camaraderie, like a really good, guy thing going on. Shorty said that Tavi was cute. She's somewhat his type. I mean, she's like a muscle build, tall guy, so there's an attraction there. They arrive at the restaurant. They order drinks. He orders a Pussy Galore drink, and she orders a Sprite. So, how long have she lived in Atlanta? She said 7 years. Before that, she used to live in Columbus, Georgia. He's familiar with Columbus, Georgia, because he used to live in Phoenix City, which was, I guess, a bridge across from Columbus. And what were you doing in Phoenix City? He was opening a gym. That's what he does for a living. He owns a chain of gyms. And he came back to Atlanta to open a gym with his friend. And it opened. It's been successful for about a year. And Shorty is really vibing with him now that he's a secure man. He's an adult. He got his business in order. And that's not the same goal. That's not the same drive that Kenneth has. Kenneth has no drive whatsoever, huh? So it would be nice to hear from a man who got his shit together. I mean, a chain of gyms, hey, I ain't mad about that. So then we find out that there are some things that Kenneth has told Shorty that she found were untrue, because he presented himself to be a whole different types of person when she met him. But by the time that she realized that she was out of his league, she was already in love with him. I said, oh, he got you. Hook, line, and sinker. We find out that Tavi has two children, a 16-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. We meet Kenneth. We see Kenneth and his date, Santrell. She's 30 years old. She's from Oakland, California. She finds herself to be a cool person. She has a flirtatious personality. And it just comes out, and once you feel it, you are hooked. So she wants to know where he was from. He said from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She's from California. She says she just got out of something. So this is new for her. And he still is in something. So they're going to figure it out together. Shorty's having a really good time on her date. They're enjoying each other's company. And she's hoping that when Kenneth comes in, he does not act a fool. They walk in, and his date is already like, oh my God, your girlfriend in there, right? Yeah. For real? Are you serious? Oh my God. So it was awkward to see his date walk in. They looking over. They see each other. Tavi didn't even notice that Kenneth was walking in. He didn't pay no attention, okay? So this puts Shorty in a bit of a predicament. Her date is right next to her, while Kenneth is right in front of her with his back turned. So she's kind of like, this is where it's going to get kind of hard. Because right now I can see him right in front of me, but I'm also trying to be present and engage with Tavi. Because I feel like my ear is going to be hearing what they got going on, and my ear is going to be trying to pay attention to what Tavi is saying. But I'm not about to let him see me sweat, so I'm going to play it cool. So it was really funny, to see his girl on the other side, and his date was pretty much trying to like boost his ego, try to keep his mind off things, obviously, what I'm saying, keep up with the assignment, because other thing, if he didn't have to stay on task with the assignment, he would have went over there and flipped the plate over. That's how he was feeling, you know what I'm saying? So they're still talking about the drinks and how funny the drinks name is sounding. So he's trying to engage. He's asking her, so you from Oakland? Yeah, she moved out to Atlanta, been here about 5 years. She went to school here. She has family here. She got approached at a club one night and was told that she had a good personality and she will do good for bartending as a server. Then she asked him, do you go out? Do you go out to clubs? He says not as much as he would like to. And he said he's a workaholic. So he had to separate himself from the temptation that's out there in the club. Workaholic how? Again, I don't know what entrepreneur you're entrepreneuring, and the food blog and the general contracting, I don't know what that is. So, and you're trying to separate yourself from the temptation from being out in the club, which means do you not act like you trust yourself when you're in the club? I want to know what's going on there. And then, of course, Chantrell does have a flirtatious personality because she was laying on thick with making sure that all eyes were on her. Like, you got it going on over here. Don't worry about it. There's temptation right over here in this area, okay? Stay focused on this area, all right? So, while they're having a conversation, I see Chantrell keep looking at Shorty. She keeps on looking back at her. Shorty was asked what was her favorite food. She said shrimp. And Tavi likes all types of seafood. He loves mussels, oysters, clams. And I can still see his date, Chantrell, keep looking over, glaring at Shorty. Like they were literally going back and forth with staring. And it's kind of like, girl, take a picture. It'll last longer. Why are you staring? Why do you keep looking over? And even though I did see sometimes Shorty would take a quick glance, a quick look, and she did it where it wasn't that noticeable. And it was like, okay, she's playing it cool. But homegirl turned her head more than once to look at Shorty. I kept telling her, girl, turn your head. Turn your head. What are you doing? I'm doing that. So obviously, she is feeling some type of way of seeing her man on a date with another woman. But Tavi is still keeping that same energy to talk to her, keep her engaged in the conversation. Even though it's awkward, he said, don't worry about it. And she loved the fact that, she was still engaged in the conversation. She was still engaged of, looking at him and talking to him. So it was like a blur, whatever was going over there was going over there, but it has nothing to do with what's happening right in front of me. And she thanked him for making her feel comfortable and coming in like a superhero to make sure that I was good. So we see Kenneth and Chantrell talking about their ages. Kenneth is 35 and Chantrell will be turning 30 on May 2nd. May 2nd is my little sister's birthday. She'll be turning 11. I'm like, oh my God, he had the same birthday as my sister. And they're talking about kids. Do you have any kids? He said he do. He has a 70-year-old girl named Goldie. And you know where my mind went when I heard that name? I thought of living single. When they went to the club and they did not want to get approached by men with gold teeth that want to eat you up and sop you like a biscuit, all that type of stuff. That's where Goldie got me. But I'm like, oh, okay, that's something we didn't know. Kenneth, you got a baby, a 7-year-old girl. So, time to do your math. He has a 7-year-old daughter. You've been with Shorty since for the last 3 years. Did you get with Shorty when your daughter was 3? What's the relationship with your baby mama? Was that your baby mama? Was that a girlfriend? What's going on there? And Santrell is trying to like get the tea. I want her to break down because she asked, was Shorty the mother of his child? He said no. Okay. You were in a long-term relationship with the mother of your child, but no commitment? No. You're in a whole new relationship with this woman for the last 3 years. No commitment. Why haven't you fully commit? Because I feel like, how are you in this relationship and you have not committed? What's wrong? Are you not ready to commit? Because you're here with me. So I want to know what's the holdup, what's the block. He talks about how he is ready to commit, but there are circumstances that don't come into play that aren't ready for him to commit. So she breaks it down. She said, listen, a guy who wants to marry a girl that he finds wife material, he wifes her. But if he doesn't plan to wife her, he's not going to do it. He plans to have fun with a party girl. He plans to have fun with a party girl. But if that party girl turns into somebody that is wife material, he going to want to keep her. Because you can't be a fun girl and still be wife material, which is the truth. Because you want to be able to have your fun every day and let that be someone you can build your future with. But if you're not ready to build your future with, then don't have her be wife material if she's not ready to be wife material, or you're not ready for her to be wife material, or you're not ready to be husband material. But that's got him thinking. Is he fully ready to move forward with Shorty? Or is he ready to say, I'm done, cut my losses and be done with it, you know? So Tavi and Shorty still having a good time, even though things were uncomfortable, but she still enjoyed that he made her stay engaged. The conversation kept on flowing and flowing and flowing. And she pretty much wants to get the hell out of there. Take me out, please. I can't handle this. But kudos to Tavi for making sure that Shorty stayed engaged because he wasn't tripping. He wasn't worrying about nothing. And if any man that can still want to be on a date with me, knowing that my man is in the same room, is a man of steel. I said that's a man that's secure within himself. Ain't worried about nothing. I'm here to make sure you okay. I'm on a date with you. So don't worry about him. Ain't nobody else over here. And I like that. I love the fact that Shorty was the only one who actually was able to stay cool in this process, even though she did admit it was awkward and there were times, but I enjoyed that. So while they leave, his date, she started engaging more because she felt like that he was being a little bit nervous about not talking as much. So now that Shorty has gone, maybe you can loosen up a little bit. Loosen up. So why are you really, really here? Is what she asked him. He said he's being in denial. Denial of the relationship and trying to see if it's worth for me staying good. Staying in it, if it's good for me, if it's not good for me. But she felt like he was nervous because of, your girl right here. I felt like he wasn't trying to give me all you wanted to give me. And maybe we can rekindle this for another time because we didn't get a chance to fully get engaged. We didn't get a chance to fully properly talk to one another, get to know one another. And Kenneth talks about, we can't do another one-on-one date because he couldn't get into the game. He couldn't, be on this date. This date wasn't easy, but she had some cool vibes about her, and he's willing to go on another date. And basically, he talks about she will enjoy him, enjoy the things he would like to do after hours. Chantrell was laying on super thick. She definitely had a flirtatious attitude with her locks. She definitely gave me a bohemian seductress vibe. Like, she was so sultry. Her outfit was cute, too. I'm like, oh, because she said how good he is. He's the entire package. He's all good. I'm like, girl, you didn't even know what he do. What do you see? Is it the accent? Is he what he exude? He probably does exude big dick energy, but that's probably all that he can give you. He doesn't have anything else going on for him besides giving you dick. I'm sorry. Moving on. Shay. Shay has a private session with Dr. Nicole about how she reacted at the date, and she has all these emotions going all over the place, and she explained how she would never act like this under normal circumstances, but seeing her man on another date with a woman triggered her. And it got out of my character. It got me out of my character in that moment, and I'm wondering in my mind, why did it go that far? How could I have let it get that far? Why did I let myself get taken out of character like that? So then keeps on going on about how Fonzo walked down on his date and he didn't notice her. And they sat right next to each other. But Dr. Nicole told her, you were supposed to collect data from how he moves on his date. You short circuit that and robbed him of his experience. You don't know what he would have done because you acted out. You made a point to make a big scene about something that you didn't even know what happened. You were supposed to see how your date was, how he doing. You weren't supposed to put your whole mind and your whole energy on Fonzo and his date. You were supposed to make sure that you're good and he does what he do. Make him own decisions. How he moves on his date had nothing to do with you. This is how he moves. And since you robbed him of making his own decision, you made it worse. You robbed him of an opportunity. You cut his losses before you can see how he moves. Because she wants to take the reins, take the initiative, and make her a priority, but you're not giving him the room to make one. You're not giving him the space. You're not trusting him enough to show you that he does want to choose you, that he does want to be with you. You're so focused on him not doing it on the time that you want him to. That's not his time. That's your time. And the whole acknowledgement thing. And she said, so you want him to pick up the pen and decide if he wants to write something that means where you and your future is going to go. And if he doesn't do it, then you have your answer. And her answer is he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to make a decision of choosing her. And that scares her because she's wondering if what she's already knowing, what she's already about to do, she would look at it as this is the sign. I'm going to walk away and I'm never going to look back. So she wanted to tell him, she wanted to tell her that she makes a good point. She needed Alfonso to do his own thing, make his own mistakes, make his own decision, choose his own narrative, and not write his story for him and watch everything play out. She was interfering all along. She was interfering with everything that he did before everything that he didn't do was going to make her upset. And she was self-sabotaging herself. Absolutely. So the doctor tells her you have to allow him to make his decisions, but that's still her problem because Alfonso doesn't make decisions. Alfonso don't make the initiative. Alfonso looks stupid with that dumb grin on his face. But then it's kind of like, I'm done being with a man who doesn't take initiative to what he wants. How long do you stay? And she said this process is super clear. Is you either put a ring on or go your separate ways. You're wasting your time and your life dealing with a man who doesn't make decisions, who doesn't put initiative in what he wants. If you want to stay stagnant of not putting on the effort and making the relationship better, then go ahead, cut your losses. And it's not infinity, but she feels like that's the problem. When they got engaged and then want to know why he took the ring back, fill in the gaps. So they were going to go ahead to get married right after engagement. They went to the courthouse, about to go through the ceremony. Hours before, she brings up the conversation about the woman who made the post on social media about how Fonzo is the love of her life. That was hours before the ceremony. And she still went through it, but the paperwork wasn't signed. They needed a Vegas officiant to sign the document. So they're still engaged, but not legally married. And he was still telling her he wanted to get married. He wanted to still go through with this. So they end up going through with the engagement, having a big party. But that's didn't stop all the things that were coming. There were things that were happening from the beginning. There were things that didn't add up, things that didn't make sense. And the whole thing that was going on with his mother. So she wasn't happy. She's had enough, gave the ring back, and packed up and left. During their separation, she was happy. She was doing things what she wanted to do. But at the same time, she felt like something was missing. And she went back. And now she's wondering, did I go back prematurely? Did I go back of wondering what happened? Did I go back with the hopes of he would do better? Did I just go back because I didn't want to be alone? And she was separated from him for about 2 months. And when she got back, she fell right back into the cycle. The same old spinning wheel of going through the same thing, same motions. And the doctor wanted to know, is that what makes you so angry? Yes. It made me so angry that I left for nothing. I thought I was leaving for a change, leaving for the better, hoping that everything will be on a better footing. But no, I'm right back into the same bullshit. And we understand it more now. More, we understand it. So you didn't sign up for anything. You never had a negotiated agreement. You just came with a bunch of arguments and you never came to terms of what it needs to look like for it to work for the both of them. She never took the time to wonder, did she really work on herself when she was away? Did she find herself? Did she consider the things that made her happy? Did she ever tell him how to make her happy? Did she ever tell him how it made her feel? She probably didn't. Probably just assumed that he would know, he would get the hint of me leaving and just try to do better. But sometimes a closed mouth don't get fed. That's on both parts. We can't expect for men to read our minds, and we can't afford the men to read our minds. We have to communicate and talk. So basically, she's pretty much preparing for a departure because if he doesn't make a decision, and it's just preparing for her moving on because obviously this is what she wants, and she wants him to want it too. But if he don't, that's it. I will not go back. We're not doing this again. This time is over. And the fact that they've been going through a lot since being on here, it's pretty much like this is the final straw. And if I am not receiving what I'm worth at the end, I can go ahead and kick rocks. But I feel like you should have kicked rocks a long time ago. If you thought that that 2 month break was supposed to change him, it didn't. And he probably didn't even realize that it hurt you because you never told him. So you're coming off of hurt that you never fully expressed to him. But the guys meet up for a quick drink at the pool house. They talk about, the relationships that they're in, the dates, how they've been going out, and they're talking about if you're ready to get down on one knee, and wondering if I'm gonna get rejected. Fonso actually gave Kenneth some advice. He said, focus on getting yourself together. Work on you. Because obviously you're dealing with women who feel like you don't bring nothing to the table. They're coming down on you or what you don't do, right? Take some time, be with yourself, know yourself, love yourself, and get your shit together. Because when you are ready, they can't say them to you. They can't come at you what you don't bring. They can't come at you or what you don't, provide. They can come at you. But that definitely hurts Kenneth, that he's constantly getting bashed of what he doesn't bring, which is a stable income, a job. So then we're talking to Otis about how sometimes arguments be coming up that's so small and then it comes big and big and he's tired of arguing. It becomes toxic, and I can't be in a relationship if our conversation becomes toxic. And then the whole thing about getting down on one knee again. How would you feel if you got rejected? How would you feel if she told you no? I'm at the point where I'm getting prepared to propose. And if I propose to somebody that I never proposed to anybody. Never. The first time I'm going to do it, I hear the word no. I will lose my mind. Don't know if I have the balls to propose again. How would that make me feel? Like all that time. Kenneth made a joke about how if he got told no, he would join the monastery, go to the mountains, and learn how to read the Bible front and back, and the drink and eat nothing but water and bread. That was so funny to me. I said, "Oh my God, not a monastery, not a church. I'm gonna join a cult." So we are back with the session of Dr. Nicole, Kenneth, and Shorty. They talk about their dates. And it was weird. Yes, it was weird. It was kind of like a hidden competition about who would be the loudest and who can outlaugh each other, out talk and everything. But it was weird, but everything worked well. Kenneth couldn't focus because as far as his date, the interest was there, but as far as, her being attractive, he thought that she was giving homegirl vibes. So it wasn't hidden. And Shorty wanted to know, what did he mean by that? Like, how do you feel about what he says about the attraction? She said, I know what type of women he's attracted to. I know that he's attracted to every woman here. I know he's attracted to somebody. But the type that he's attracted to are the women that are clearly out of his league. And that's most of the time. The look on everybody else's face when she said that, I said, oh shit. Really? Yes. He looks out for beautiful, top-notch women who are established, women who got things going on for themselves, and they're picky. So basically, you described yourself. Yes. Now, she obviously were swooned over by all of the charm that he was given, all the things that he was just showcasing. And when she met him, he made it seem as if he was way more established than she thought he was. And when she finally got in the trap, she realized he wasn't stable, he wasn't as established as he thought he was. He wasn't being truthful. He did not have everything going on for himself like he said he was in the beginning, but she was already in love with him. So she felt like, shit, I'm stuck. I'm done here. You know what I'm saying? It led to the promises. So while she was in La La Land, the land of milk and cookies, the land of the love bubble, all the things that Kenneth was promising her, what he will do, what he will bring, was going to come later. As far as being financially stable and contributing to the household. She said the level of maturity, the level of honesty, the level of his desire to be stable economically was not there. Not there at all. Otis thought it was like, damn, that's how it is? How did we get from there in an instant? He thought that she was bashing him too hard, but he's glad that that's not his situation. I mean, come on. For someone who don't want to, hold everything, do everything, I bet it's irritating that as much as you give me so much dick, you don't bring nothing else. That's gotta be frustrating. So obviously, Kenneth, I thought he was about to cry when he was talking. He feels like, why she always gotta downplay me? Like, I'm not out here trying. I'm not trying to be better. I'm not trying to be better, be a better man, capable of doing better, doing this, doing that. And he's not feeling the support. He's not feeling the compliment. And he's trying to do better, but he feels like it's not enough because she's constantly bashing him on what he don't do. And I'm like, well, he doesn't do anything. I mean, we still don't know what job he has right now. Like I said, an entrepreneur of what? You said you worked at a security guard. How long was that? So while I understand when it comes down to bashing a man who doesn't hold his weight, I get that, how it can be allowed, but at the same point in time, Kenneth's case is not really a good case because when he doesn't get what he wants, when he becomes petty, we see him. We see him take photos of bank statements, go to her job page and spam the comments. He followed her when she found another place. So it's kind of like I really can't defend him that much though. Because obviously you don't bring nothing but dick. And that's not good. And I don't know what else you're trying to hold on to if what you're holding on to is just a place to stay. And the doctor asked him, do you believe you have to leave pieces of yourself in order to be with her? And obviously, this was a tense moment, so we're not going to dive more into this. We're going to talk about it another time. Otis and Shar. So they're talking about their dates. And of course, Otis, the bullshitter, trying to downplay it, not trying to give full detail about what happened on the date because they went to hot yoga. No, it was regular yoga. You just got hot. And then he just pretty much tried to say that he was trying to keep the advice of Dr. Nicole to stay focused on his date, not worry about it, and that he trusts Shar. Even though the situation was weird and tricky. She stops him and said, first of all, I don't believe him. I don't believe he's telling the truth. Because there are things that you're trying not to talk about. He purposely wanted to look at her back tattoos. She had tattoos, and he wanted to look at them in front of me to make me feel away. I do believe that he's attracted to her because when I met her, she's a super pretty woman. I thought she was super young. And when he went out on his date with her, he wore his chain, his thick chain. He wore cologne. He don't wear cologne unless we go out separately. So I'm kind of like, what are you wearing all this for? You're just going to yoga. You ain't going out. What you wearing this for? You know? And we were not in a good place at all before his date because it was still about us talking about our dates. I was not getting what I wanted. I was still supposed to share about my dates, and he has yet to open about his. We're still on that, which is why I'm saying I don't believe him because for him going on a second date with her and still not telling me how the date went, it led me to believe there was some attraction there. So I wrote, here comes the bullshitter, trying to make it seem as if any woman that he brings up to Shar, she feels a way. She feels a reaction, and that it doesn't give him the space of having these deep conversations. You know why it don't? Because you know you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. So any woman that you do bring up, she's going to have questions that you're not ready to answer. So you avoid and you withheld these conversations on purpose. She said, well, this is about a woman that I don't care for. He overtalks her, still wants to continue, and say this kind of behavior is why I don't have the confidence to have these conversations. She said, no, that's wrong. I don't have issues with women. I don't. But if he brings up a woman I don't care for, then we're going to have an issue. That's different. I'm not mad about a woman that I don't know. I'm not mad about a woman that I do know. If you have something that you're trying to hide from me and that you don't want to bring it up, then I got a problem. So she asked them, do they both want to have a space of communicating with one another and having deep conversations? Yes. But you have to give it. You have to come from a place of trust and communicate and transparency. You can't expect for someone to give you and you can't surrender it. That you surrender it back. You can't do it. So, which is what you want to have these conversations. Which cannot. That's I'm rambling. Which is why Otis cannot play Shar to be what's the word? What's the word? I can't. Oh, she can't be in a space of automatically knowing that you want to hear about her dates. That's what she's supposed to do. But when she's asking you back, you're giving her short responses. You're not explaining everything. You're trying to not say things of what you might want to say to make it where it wasn't that big of a deal, because that's what you're doing right now. And I wrote, this bullshit ass Negro decided to say, I want to reach a level of openness. So he admitted and said that him and Milan have talked through DM. She said, you spoke to who? Milan. I think after the date, they spoke because she has mutual friends of his. And he went to his friend's page, saw pictures, didn't know that she knew them. He messaged her. They talked about how, what a small world. I wouldn't have recognized you in person from the pictures. Then they talk about the horseback riding. And it's so ironic that this girl, this happens to be mutual friends of yours, trainers that you know them, right? Ironic. And so basically, you've been lying this whole time. He said, well, no. He felt like he didn't have to tell her because there wasn't anything wrong with it. Nigga, bye. Bye. So she goes off with saying things that, you told me that she's a little kid, she's a DJ, she ran the streets. No, I never said she ran the streets. But you have told me all these things that's so negative, but you just happened to DM her? Interesting. Shorty was like, bro, not the DM, though. And you talking about how she should know better? Brother, you should know better. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Otis's rules don't apply to him because he doesn't believe what he's doing is wrong. He feels like maybe because he's a man, he's handsome, this is something that's of the norm. But for Shar, he wants to make it seem as if she might be dirty. She's what she's not supposed to be doing. Oh, brother, please. She calls him a monster. You have not been honest. You look like a liar. He said he did not want to blindside her. But you blindsided me in front of TV. On TV, in front of everybody else. What you mean you don't want to blindside me? You're doing it right now. What are you talking about? The fuck you mean? Look what the fuck you just did. Oh, God. And she said you don't look like how you're acting with what you're presenting to the people. That's not what you look like. Meaning, Otis is shutting down all of his emotions, trying to make it seem as if Shar is reacting out of nothing, but she's reacting with right sense. So she said, first of all, you're a liar. What you DMing her for? Why do you feel the need to DM her? For what? Why? And she told Dr. Nicole, we just had a conversation about not texting. And hearing that he texted, he DM'd her, I found that to be a problem because that's still texting. He said, it is? That's not your texting. Don't fucking play with her. That is texting. Any form of communication where you're sending up iMessage to anybody is a text message, okay? Otis, don't be stupid. Don't act stupid. So the asshole is talking about how the way she's reacting is emotional, but it's kind of like, why are you making it seem as if I placed a rule on you that you can never DM a man? I would never say that. I would never place a rule that you can't DM somebody. You're fucking lying. We saw how you had a whole conniption about her receiving flowers. You made her not eat. What are you talking about? You told her she was dirty because she received flowers and gave a guy a side hug. You're full of shit, Otis. We're not crazy. We've seen this. No, nigga, no. No. So she said, I hope that DM was worth it because I'm a DMer myself. Dr. Nicole said, why? because I want to have a conversation. I want to say, hey, what's up? What you doing talking to my man? What's up with that? What's up? So again, he's making it seem as if it's not a big deal. It wasn't like that. Why are you making a big deal? Oh, it's not a big deal? Okay, so it's not a big deal to you. Can I go DM my date? Since we have some mutual friends, can I do that? Is that okay? You know it's okay. Why are you making it seem as if it's not okay? I have a problem with that. She said bullshit. Well, I'm saying bullshit. I'm saying bullshit because it's bullshit. What you mean? It's okay for her to not DM a man? For real, it's okay? No, it's not okay. You fucking know it. She said, just stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. Shay said, that was me. I be DMing everybody. I wish a bitch would. I wish Fonzo would DM a bitch. You got me playing. So Dr. Nicole wants to know, how are you feeling? What's transpired? What are your thoughts? She said, we're done. We're done. He could give an answer because he doesn't know what's going on. I don't know how. I don't know what happened. So she said, um, self-awareness and ownership is important. While I celebrate that you're sharing this information, but I also want you to understand your actions that can change the dynamic of the relationship and the situation, because you go blank, which you've already feel like what you've already admitted your part, and that you don't need to discuss it even more. You don't need to, what's the word I'm trying to find, because I think he feels like he washed his hand of what he was battling himself with guilt, that it's now free. I have been holding this in and now I'm free, but you guys can't look at me like I did something wrong because I have admitted what I did. But you haven't admitted what you did. You're not feeling sorry what you did. You think that what you did was what it was, not bad. And you feel like because you admitted it, now you are absolved from punishment. You're not absolved from punishment. You're not absolved of getting cussed out. You're not absolved of understanding how someone else is feeling because you've admitted your guilt. No, there's some more to come. Um, yeah. So the doctor wants to know where we go from here. Shar said we can't go nowhere. It's done. It's a deal breaker. It's a wrap. She said, I know you were upset though, but I mean, it's more than upset. This is embarrassing. He keeps embarrassing me. This is a deal breaker. You want to come over and tell me that you're texting her, you're DMing her? What the fuck? You kidding right now? So she feels like that's a little consequence based off of the issues they still need to work on. How they communicate, the accountability, the double standard. That still needs to be addressed. So she's pretty much, that's not how, I'm not feeling that right now. Because she wanted to talk about it some more. She said, no, I'm not feeling like talking about it. Oh yeah, her date. She wanted her to talk about her date. She said, I'm not in the mood. I'm not, no. Okay, well, I don't want you to let him, what he just did, rob you of your experience. So I want you to still speak up on what you done. Speak up of what you have, went through your date. How was your date? I mean, it's the same thing, you know. Brian's a great guy. He's nice. He's well educated, well spoken. Yeah, I had a good time, and it was a great time. I had a great time. So was it distracting to see Otis on his date? Honestly, I didn't care enough to see either one of them. Now I know, Shar, you lying to try to save face because you're in this state of pistosity right now, which I can understand. But you were definitely peeping what Otis and Milan was doing. You kept on referring to her as a young girl. You said, "Hey, that's his daughter." Yeah, you were peeping. You were peeping a little bit too much, but at the same point, I'm not going to give it to you that much because you are in a state of madness and you are incorrect to stay in a state of madness. So I'm not going to give that to you that much, but you were doing it. I'll move on. The process is tough, and if you don't have the realization that you can't control anybody but yourself, then I don't know what to tell you. It all ends with the person that you want to leave out this experience with, and they have to pretty much let them choose for themselves. And once they choose what they want, you have to try to understand what they want. And we try to go to Alfonso and Shay. They don't even know what they want to talk about because this was a bomb that just got dropped. So I'm just like, what should we talk about now? You know? And we see whispered argument between Shar and Otis. She's looking at him and telling her, "You got me fucked up. No. You got me fucked up. You will keep embarrassing me. I'm gonna embarrass the fuck out of you." And she really gets up close and just puts her finger on his face. She said, "Did you fucking talk to that girl? You really fucking DM'd her? Are you fucking serious?" The doctor was like, "Do y'all want to share?" She said, "I would like to leave. I would like to leave." Because I feel like, what bothered her was that you decided to tell me in front of the whole world, the cameras, the TV, how you DM'd this girl, but you didn't want me to be blindsided. You didn't want to make me look stupid, but you made me look stupid and foolish anyway. because you did it right in front of everybody. You never told me before then. You told me right in the moment where I had to find out at the same time everybody had to find out. I look stupid. So the doctor, Nicole, wants her to calm down. She said, nope, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker. And she's like, can I have the key, please? Can I have the key, please? He tells her no. No, don't tell me no. Don't say no to me. And that was the end of the episode. I was like, child, sure, girl. And she speeds off the next episode, baby. But y'all, that was the end of that episode. That episode was a bomb. It's always a bomb. That happens at the end of every episode. It is a bomb that's waiting to go off, and I just cannot keep up. Oh my goodness. The next bomb gonna be a lot next episode. But that's what you guys, that's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.